Not that I know of.
I mean, how do we know they're not still on the way?
I think the idea of a bunch of comic and cartoon fans yelling unicorn power would just sound wonderful for Jonathan's tape. Can you hold that up in the air 1 second? I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. I just want to hear unicorn power. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Unicorn power!
Activate! Yeah, that's good. There's one question from the crowd at this point. I've got a bunch of other questions, but they get stupider as the ink dries on the page. Yes, sir.
Neil, correct me if I'm wrong, but it looked like you pulled down at least one comic from your site at some point, and I was wondering, like, what goes through your mind when you decide to take something down?
I think I pulled down 10 recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, eventually it'd be nice if there was one comic up there, and people had to buy the book. The book is truly the best place to look at them. I think you find so much more detail. Mostly that's, the result of making the book more of a commodity, but there have been cases where I've just kind of gone completely cold on a comic, and I don't dig it anymore, I don't want to see it. And I'll take it down, or I'll just want to give it a rest, or make it more scarce. I wish I could say that there was some deep, deliberate reason, but I don't know. Maybe it was cranky that morning or something, and it didn't make me laugh.
As an artist, I was curious. A lot of it looks like, it says watercolor on board, but I never got watercolor to seep into board. Do you use gouache, or what? How do you, it's such a vibrant look, but it's not watercolor paper. I hope you guys don't mind me detailing into a nerdy art question, because I want to know how it's done. It's not watercolor paper, but it still looks so good. How do you do it?
Which one are you thinking about?
Take this one, you keep on trucking it. Doesn't look like watercolor paper.
Yeah, it might not be.
Is it gouache? Do you use gouache?
That one's actually inks. That's not even watercolors. I think I used, it's one of the few times where I used like a bottle full of like ink. They have like colored inks. It was an impulse buy. But I used it on that comic and a couple others.
Let's take one more from the crowd. Who has got a good question? I know there's a lot of smart, interesting people. Sir, you have one?
Yes, the name.
The name Perry Bible Fellowship. I was thinking Perry Bible Scholarship would have been good.
I like that. Each comic would be like a reward for the people who study them. That'd be interesting. The name, Albert Burney, who's another kid that helps me out a lot with the comic strip.
Oh, he's a man now.
He's a man now. Well kid in other ways. But we were looking for a title for this piece of art that we had concocted. It's the first comic that you see in the almanac. We had drawn it, and we weren't sure what to call it, and we were ready to walk over to the Daily Orange, the student newspaper on campus, and we're like, we need a title. Albert had this hideous piece of Christian paraphernalia hanging in his room for ironic reasons. It was a traveling Christian singing group, and they were performing at the Perry Bible Fellowship. I'm not even sure how, but I'm definitely enhancing the moment, my recollection, but I think we just nodded at each other and said, that'll do.
Anybody know how we got the show here? You know how we got these gentlemen to come here? And it's not fascinating, but I'll just mention, I reached out to Nick in a phone call, and we started talking. I used to live in upstate New York, and would you want to come out? And he's like, how would I get out there? And I'm like, like that. I reached out to JetBlue, and I played it up like he's like J.D. Salinger. I'm like, I don't know how we got him to agree to come here. He's recluse, agoraphobic. He can't. I don't. But he's agreed to fly this one time. Like, well, what's the name of this trip? It's called the Perry Bible Fellowship. And then there's like clicking and sucking noises, and they're trying to figure out what it look like they're giving preference to like a Christian group. It's but eventually, it's not religious. I'll give you the website. Like, oh shit, once she sees this stuff, there's like, I'm sorry, there's absolutely no way we can fly Mr. Gerwich from Rochester to San Francisco. I saw some of these strips, and I don't really, I thought it would go that way, but JetBlue got on board, so not only are they mostly fun to fly, I think they deserve a round of applause. JetBlue folks brought them out, taken care of. And didn't judge the content of your strips, and they weren't threatened by the name Perry Bible Fellowship, even though they weren't doing anything for like blind orphans and puppies. So that's pretty cool.
Or the name Gerwich.
Yeah. Another question from the crowd. Yes, in the back, Andrew. Oh, Andrew, you
hotel.
what's that?
You mentioned the hotel, which also.
Yes, I'm sorry. A lot of people came together to try and find housing. Where are you staying?
The Hilton, the best hotel in.
I love the Hilton. It's great.
Good pillows.
Oh my god, the sheets.
Really
White as snow.
white, like nearly almost completely white.
Gentlemen, here, you gotta-
Why the different art styles?
Why the different art styles? So each strip seems to lend itself to a different art style. It's not uniform, there are no recurring characters. How did you come up with that?
Boredom with the same old look, maybe? I don't know. I mean,
Sometimes the doughboy character just can't get the message across.
you need to see details like a toenail or blood,
Gotcha the
fabrics.
If Gotcha the Clown spoke, if Gotcha the Clown spoke, what would his voice sound like? How did you envision when he comes out of the guillotine? How would he sound?
How would he sound? His line is, I don't know. I really don't know. I think the beauty of comics is that you get to imagine it yourself. Gotcha! Probably something like that. Although, you know what though? If I heard him say that, it wouldn't be as powerful. He probably has like an English accent. Or no, I think it's like a guillotine's of French, right? Gotcha!
We at the museum, we've had the good fortune of a tremendously fun bunch of cartoonists who've come through here. Dan Ferraro's been here, and he has read his hate mail, and he's always antagonized like the NRA and all sorts of assholes, frankly. And have you gotten any hate mail? Has anyone come after you like, I can't believe, like that? Who have you heard? I'm sure you get a lot of positive encouragement, but have you gotten anything where you just, I can't believe they wrote it?
I think I've gotten 5 pieces. Maybe 6, yeah. And I always try to talk with them as long as possible, and they're always the ones to stop talking. Oh, I just want to try and figure out why they were offended. The presence of skeletons, I guess. No matter what you're going to do, sometimes the skeleton isn't just, I mean, some people maybe it's just because I'm younger than like my mom, but when she sees a skeleton, I think she sees a reminder of death. There's not necessarily a reason for that to be funny. Maybe we're reckless, maybe it's society or the civilization at this stage, but I'm ready to not be stopped by the sight of a skeleton. Like to me, a skeleton can make the message more powerful, as it does in the films too. A death is always going to be more powerful. What was the question? Hate mail. This person didn't like Hey Goat. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this strip where the goat. Yeah, someone's like, why did you do that? Do you think just that the presence of death is a punchline? And that deeply saddened me that they thought that I was just laughing at death. That wasn't it at all. I was laughing at like the start of death. In the third panel, when you see it, the avalanche probably is what did it. I mean, you don't laugh at the last panel, you maybe laugh when you re-examine the third panel.
His exuberance brought down the avalanche.
Yeah, I think I laughed because if he had, if he was not so enthusiastic about his love for her, it would be just fine. Yeah, that's often the case. Not with me, but.
So you're going to a wedding with eyes open. The wedding, eyes open, too much love, bad. Right? Is that what you take from it?
No.
Keep it chill though. I mean, that character in that comic was a little bit too vocal. And the comic is a lesson, but it's a lesson that hammers hard.
It's time and place for everything, I think.
The comic gives a lesson, and I see the lesson in that one. I think the same person had a really hard problem with the food fight comic strip, it really saddens me when people see that one. They see that like these poor starving children are being used for a punchline. The joke is not them. The joke is absolutely not them. It's entirely there to give contrast to an obscene man.
Put context around the man. It gives a context for his behavior.
Yeah, let's look at the man and look at how terrible he is. I hate that guy.